I listen to a lot of videos on ADHD, OCD, autism, and many varying facets of therapy. And in some of these videos on autism, they describe me in some of the facets. Now, one of the main facets of autism is that as a child, it's very noticeable because you can't get eye contact. It's like trying to get eye contact from a monkey. They just don't do it. And so classic autism is diagnosed as a child, apparently. But then you can go on YouTube and you can see all different sorts of videos. Elon Musk's autistic, and savants are autistic, and lots of people have autistic traits. Well, we all have varying traits. I've got lots of traits of lots of things because I'm a complex human being. But I don't tick all the boxes, or say like 80 or 90% of them, which is a prerequisite before you get labelled as one of these things. Now, if we look at narcissism, for instance, narcissism is one of the fastest growing human traits on the planet. We're all becoming more and more narcissistic. We're all becoming more self-aggrandizing, self-serving, and less considerate and compassionate and loving, and all these sort of things. We're becoming very egocentric instead of like of a hive mind. And I think that's a good thing, because the powers that be have been trying to get us into this hive mind for a long time, and it's really the last thing that we want to do. We want to keep our individualism. We most certainly don't want to be sacrificing that for the good of the herd. No, we want to have a rational level of application of serving the herd, being conducive within society, but we most certainly don't want to lose our individuated positive traits. Of course, if you're a thief and a murderer and all those different sorts of things, then there's places for those sort of people. But getting back to the autism thing, one of the traits of autism is that you have great awareness. Now, there's this guy, he did a few videos on BBC iPlayer, and there's like ADHD, OCD, narcissism, autism. So anyway, in the autism one, he says, when I'm walking around, and he's in a wooded area like this, he's saying that often I can find it completely overwhelming because I just notice everything, or an enormous amount of information, and it becomes overwhelming to my processing section of the mind. Well, for me, I have great awareness, and whenever I'm walking with anyone, I always notice a great deal more than they ever could, and often it's been bewildering to the people that I'm with. I just spot things so far away. I don't know, I'm just tuned into it, but I don't find it overwhelming because I'm not gathering data. I'm in a meditation. I'm observing it all, I have an awareness of it all, but I'm not necessarily gathering data. I'm not computing every variety of plant and leaf and that sort of thing, until I want to hone in on a particular place and then do a reconnaissance mission on that particular data. Now, for instance, if I was standing here and I'm looking down there, and I want to know what that foliage is down there, then I will start guesstimating from the attitude of all those plants what those plants are. and I can see that there's cow parsley, I can see that there's stinging nettles, I can see that there's a hawthorn tree, and that one in the middle, not quite sure, it's got lots of small leaves. But as I get closer, there's an ash tree there. That one there, well, it all looks like hawthorn. I couldn't tell what that one was because there's no leaves being presented to me in the light, you see, it's all shadowy. But over here I could see the leaves, so I could see that that's a hawthorn. So, and I can see that these tall plants with the flowers on top, they're cow parsley, and then stinging nettles. So I hone in on things when I want to, but most of the time I'm just observing, and I'm looking for anomalies. I'm looking for wildlife, things that move and things that look odd, and I hone in on them. And so that's one of the traits of autism. But also another trait is that autistic people tend not to have any filters. They don't have too much of an interest, or they've not been programmed into social norms because the programming doesn't work. And so this lady friend that I go walking with, she says that she can see it in me because she knows she's got it in her. And the thing about the filters, you see, I don't prevent myself from saying anything that I want to say to whoever. It doesn't matter to me. I don't filter which is appropriate here and which is appropriate there. I'm not minding my P's and Q's. I simply don't care, and I don't think it's relevant. I don't want to be governed by social norms and those sort of things, and so that's why I use profanity on my channel. That's why I speak about things that are not supposed to be spoken about. That's why I confront people's fragile egos every which way I can, because that's my particular way of awakening the viewer and planting a seed within your mind. I said to my therapist, I said, look, we're not that different. The difference being is that you are in a professional realm and you're bound by social norm and your particular profession, the criteria within that. You can't use profanity, you can't be overly direct, you can't tell me I'm something, you can't accuse me of being anything. You've got to be very, very careful. And that's why therapists invariably don't say anything, because otherwise they'll all be in fucking court. But I said to her, we have the same agenda. The agenda is to help people, and my videos are to help people. But I poke people first until they realise that they've got, a pain somewhere, and then I direct the information to the area of pain, whereby I can be saying that people are unhealthy, overweight and things like that. Here they are again. I think you should start running though. That's the next step, guys. They're my neighbours. Yeah. So unfiltered. And well, a hypervigilance, an unfiltered way of addressing the world, I suppose, speaking, opining, and those sort of things. So I'm going to investigate that a little bit more to see if there's any veracity to it, because when we look at what I do and how my channel is, you won't find any others, or very, very few. Why? Because they've got filters. They've got their own filters, they've got the social norm filters, they've got the platform filters, they've got their own guilt and fear filters. They've got scores of filters. And so, therefore then, they are all encapsulated within the social norms, whereas I'm not. And so there must be something more different to me than just I don't give a fuck. Because the I don't give a fuck has to be rooted in something, doesn't it? Because this I don't give a fuck, it probably costs me thousands every single year. But I don't give a fuck, because I don't need any money. And from time to time, like in recent times, I thought, well, it'd be nice to have a mountain bike. So, well, I didn't need any money, did I? I just manifested it. And there's nothing else that I need to scrimp and save for, or beg and borrow. I just have an amount of money which caters for me. And I'm never without any money. I never look into my bank account, oh, well, there's no money there. No, there's always money. And so, if you don't need it, why would I want to compromise? Why would I want to really start imposing restrictions upon the way I pass through this life if I'm entirely happy with that passage? And people could say, whoa, you'd have a lot more friends and a lot more opportunities, and people maybe would want to do this and do that. Well, I don't have time for any of that. I don't have time for anything else except doing what I'm doing. And so I'm absolutely dedicated to improving my singing ability and my guitar playing. I'm dedicated to achieving what I want to with the body. I'm dedicated to the acquisition of knowledge in the arenas that I'm passionate about. All those things I'm dedicated to. And I simply can't imagine a world outside of that. And yet I am going to therapy, and I'm probing, and I'm investigating, I'm inquiring within what another world for the awakened brave would look like, and how many compromises will I need to make to open up another portal for me to do something for a few hours, a few times a week. That's probably all what it would entail if I wanted to create another platform or engage in something which took, several hours a week. Then I might be open to that, but I don't know what that would be. And I suppose if I am not desirous to create anything like that, then obviously I don't need or want anything like that. And so just because I'm thinking, it might be kind of cool to do something else, and then I ask myself, well, what do you want to do? And you go, nothing. Well, what are you fucking talking about then? What are you talking about, Awakened Brave? If there's not something, I really fancy doing this, or I fancy doing that, yeah, look, I've wrote this blueprint down, I have a business plan, this is what I'd like to do. Well, if I did that, then I'd be doing it already. But as I haven't even written the first line of anything like that, then it doesn't look like it's very likely. And this is another one of the frustrations of my therapist, because she can see this. She can see that I'm absolutely like a pig in shit in my own world. And it doesn't appear likely in the slightest that I'm going to be moving outside of it. But at the very least, it's given her a challenge, and it's doubtless interesting for her to see that at least I am inquiring. I'm asking myself, my parts, I'm having a deep investigation into my parts, into all of them that are remotely prominent, what they want from this life. And they all have their own desires for what they want from this life, because we're not just one thing, people. There's a part of me that loves to play the guitar. There's a part of me that loves to sing. There's a part of me that loves to play the guitar and sing at the same time. part of me that likes to make videos. There's a part of me that likes to go to the gym. There's a part of me that likes to go cycling. There's a part of me that likes to go foraging or rambling or just open-eyed meditation. There's a part of me that likes to philosophize from time to time whilst out walking. There's a part of me that likes to watch interesting videos. There's a part of me that likes to read interesting books. There's a part of me that just likes to sit in meditation. All these parts take up every single hour and minute of my life. And so, there is no other parts. There's just a murmuring of maybe the very, very early stages of a part being developed. And if that part had a lot more energy, then it would start to manifest into something more tangible, like an egregore, like a real altar. But it's not an altar at this moment in time, it's just a murmuring. And the murmuring's coming from my core, and it's just posing the question, what if? It's asking the question, are you content for the rest of your life doing what you're doing? Awake and brave? And I'm like, I don't know. Why? What are you thinking about? Well, you could do something else. You could find a few hours here and there. Okay. But what would that look like? I don't know. Let's sleep on it, shall we? Yeah, okay, let's sleep on it. I'll go and see my therapist and I'll talk to her about it, and we can engage with her and we can see what comes up when we collectively investigate this subject. And we'll see at the end of the therapy whether it amounts to anything or not. So that's where we are, people. It's really very complex, isn't it? You see, people think that the human being is just pretty simple. But it's not. It's absolutely immensely complex. And if you try to hone in on any particular little area, just like say you hone in on one cell in a virus in a petri dish, then that cell will break into fractals and it will end up in the abyss, because you'll never be able to discern anything fundamental about it. And that's what happens with a human being. There's nothing fundamental in any realm. There's only ideas and propositions and beliefs. And so by the time we start juggling with these, we juggle with desires, we juggle with apprehensions, we juggle with anxieties, we juggle with fears, we juggle with many, many facets of what it is to be a human being. And if we're brave, then we'll have a go at most things, you know. If we're not brave, then we'll stay pretty sedentary all of our lives, and we won't really upset the apple cart because we're too afraid of the unknown. Now, if I am remotely afraid about anything, it's having obligations. I don't want obligations. I don't want to feel obliged to do anything. But if I start doing something and it involves other people, then of course it's going to involve obligations. It's going to involve me needing to be at certain places, at certain times, with certain people, and if I'm not there, then it's not going to be good, is it? And so I have to be very, very careful about taking on obligations. And so if I am going to do anything, then doubtless it's going to be almost entirely on my own, where if I don't want to do it, I don't do it. If I don't have to do it, I don't do it. If I don't have the mood to do it at that particular time, I don't do it. If I want to do something else, to do something else. I'm not going to have people phoning me up or, reminding me that I've got Google Meet sessions and this, that and the other. Because albeit I like these Google Meets now and again. Okay, so it's alright once a week, once a fortnight. But if I had to do them professionally to build up a clientele and a subscribership, then I'd be having to bang those out 3 or 5 times a week. It would have to be a job. I don't want a job. I don't want to be forced into doing anything. I want to continue to be moved by the cosmos in every way that I am. I'm moved by the cosmos. Everything is so simple for me. It's just water off a duck's back. It's just what I am. It's what I become. It's just what we do. We play guitar, we sing, we work out, we walk, we make videos, we read books, and we do stuff like that. So, some things to think about there, people, because at the end of the day, we have to open up our minds to looking inside, to seeing what's going on. And one of the things that these therapists ask you to do when you're alone, you can do it when you're with them of course, but when you're alone, is just to sit quietly and see if you can close the mind down and open up a dialogue with anyone who's there. You say to yourself, who's there? And then see who answers. And then if someone answers, me. You go, well, who's me? I'm the one you're talking to. Well, who are you? No, I don't really know. You've not named me, you've not labelled me. I'm just a voice in your head. Oh, interesting. How many voices have I got in my head? I don't know. But I know there's me and you. And they take it from there. Then you see how many you've got. And then you see which ones command your time. Which ones pull you in, coerce you or draw you in to engage you with them. And I said to my therapist, I said, I sing every single day, if possible, as long as my voice permits, until my voice is too tired. I play the guitar every single day, as long as my fingers are not too sore, until they are too sore to continue. I work out every single day until my body is too tired to do any more. I read every single day until my mind becomes too tired to absorb any more. I do everything to the max. That's how I am. I'm pretty obsessive, I'm very intense, I'm very driven, and knowing this, you can easily see why I scowl at lazy people and people who don't do any of those things. Nothing people. I have issues with them. What is the issue I have with them? It's just kind of like, just pull your bootstraps up and do something with your lives. That's what my issue is. And then my therapist said, well, why does that bother you? Oh, it's complex. Complex. That's for another video.